This is my channel, Evolve with Monat. For those of you that are new here, I'm a professional intuitive empath, and I want to jump right into it. Divine Feminine, break up with your twin. Your light is too bright. It allows the temptation to creep in, or it brings the temptation in. Now, for those of us that are on this channel, many of us can relate to or have been on the twin flame journey. It is one that's incredibly toxic. It is one that, if you are a fan of it and you're holding out hope for your twin flame, this is not going to be the message that you want to listen to. As a practitioner, I have a moral responsibility. I take what I do very, very seriously, right? I can add a dollop of humor to what I do, and I can be light about it too. But for the most part, I take what I do very seriously because it involves you, it involves your lives. Pardon me, guys. Stay hydrated, especially in a full moon, guys. Mm. So I take this very seriously, okay, in every way. And what I want you to understand is that this twin flame journey is nothing to play with. It is usually going to be one of the most painful experiences that you have. And I find a lot of people leave themselves stagnant, holding out for their twin flame to come to them or recognize them, and it won't happen. If I were you, I would go the way of your soulmate. That is a much easier road to hoe with someone who's not going to treat you like one, okay? And with someone who's not going to um, subjugate you to a lot of unnecessary connections, dramas, and bring in unnecessary competitions. Let me explain. The reason that I'm advising that you move in a different kind of way regarding your twin flame is because a lot of you guys that are on a twin flame journey usually have some level of spiritual calling, discernment, or ability to ascend. And what that will do is bring a lot of it brings a lot of attention to you, and not everybody can deal with that level of attention. Not everybody can manage that. So usually the soulmate that comes in afterwards will be equipped for that, and maybe not be fame or even if it's not fame hungry, they'll stay in their lane. I can speak from my own experience that the soulmate that God brought in for me is one that's very happy and complete in their own lane. They have definitely aspects of spirituality that are important to me, because if I'm going to be friends or in a deep connection with anybody, they need to be spiritual. But they are not trying to override me, overtake me, or trying to be me in any creepy way that can weirdly happen with a twin flame journey, where your twin flame starts to compete with you. And the reason that I'm talking about this is not even about your twin flame, it's about the energy that they'll bring in around them because of you. So what happens and specifically in any dynamic, or if it's romantic, or if there's any romantic undertones, what will happen is your twin flame may start to talk about you a lot. Maybe they're happy, maybe they really do recognize the connection, and they start to talk about it. Inevitably, what it's going to do is attract maybe past life people, get reconjured up. Past life people get reconjured up that may have been past life enemies for you. And this is going to sound real wonky for people that are not this deep into spirituality. And believe you me, until it happened to me, I was like, is that a little far fetched? No, it's not. I went to spiritual war with people that I had known in past lives, people that may have vanquished me and killed me in past lives, actually. But what happened in this life is that did not happen at all. It happened maybe emotionally and spiritually. I was able to be taken out of the picture, but I took myself out of the picture because of this very reason. My light attracted a lot of people that were low vibrational and toxic, that couldn't generate their own self-esteem. And so the person that I quote unquote called my twin flame was bringing that drama and smoke to me. It was never drama and smoke that I brought to me of my own accord. Yes, I've had people not be amazing. Yes, I've had weird things happen, but I've never experienced the level of crazy mean girl shenanigans, because my twin flame happens to be a woman. So she was trafficking in mean girl BS, and it's okay. That was her situation, but she was using me to, like, bait new people in. And even if she didn't do it fully, it happened anyway. And it was a cardinal sin for me. And what happens is another woman will see your light, divine feminine, and they'll be like trying to get their self-esteem. They want to juice your energy as energy vampires to get your self-esteem. So if they can take your person, quote unquote, man, woman, whatever they are, then they're like, I'm living the dream. Because if he or she esteems them so well and they're so magical and they have a real business, or they have things that I've never could attain, they're educated, or they're spiritually inclined, or they're a sweetheart, or they're down to earth, or they have messages, or they're psychic, whatever your gifting is, right? A woman that's toxic and that's operating out of masculine energy will see that and say, I'd like to take your person, right? And that is an ego stroke for them. They'd like to participate in that kind of thing. So you will attract a lot of energy, and your light is bright. And if your twin flame is an opportunist, they might use it and they might talk about it, and they might pillow talk with people that they shouldn't with in the heat of the night. And then they're after you. And that was what I noticed. It was really funny to me. I knew that once I cut my energy off from my quote unquote twin flame, that dating would not be the same for that person. It doesn't mean that they won't date or that they won't pull or whatever, but it will not be at the same level of rabid attention and energy that they were when I was in their life. I am no longer part of the narrative in that. So now, if they want a husband or a wife, they'll have to find it on their own accord, and they won't seem as attractive. And I know it seems like wildly conceited to say, but you need to understand your power, divine feminine. This is truly your power. You bring a lot of energy your twin flame's way. And I knew that if I needed to continue on my spiritual journey, that my twin flame was weak. She succumbed easily to temptation and low vibrational energy of every stripe. It wasn't just sexual addictions, it was drugs, it was alcohol, it was gossip, it was mean girl energy, it was backstabbing. So it was all kinds of debauchery. It was dark, dark stuff that scared me for her. It didn't scare me because I'm not scared. I've lived in this world and on this earth plane many times. Hold on. Mm. But I thought, this is not a life that's mine. And we may have been past life enemies, whomever the people that she was bringing in were. Yes, MT just chimed in, and he or she, you correct me for what you are, says no one wanted my twin flame. Says no one wanted my twin flame until after me. I think that that is very telling. And if you join this live, please tell me your story. But if not, leave it in the comments below if you're watching it on the playback. No one, meaning my twin flame was a lonely kind of Eeyore depressive person that I pumped a lot of sunshine and life into. And as soon as and I taught her spirituality as well and made her shiny and new in many ways. That doesn't mean she didn't have her own journey and she didn't have her own spiritual gifting. She did, or I wouldn't have been attracted. I'm not attracted to people that don't have some modicum of spirituality within them. Yeah, it just doesn't work for me that way. I'm very sapiosexual, so if I'm attracted to you and we're friends, even if it's platonic, you got to have something. You got to come to play spiritually. Otherwise, I'm not even going to be interested. So what happened was she was gifted in her own way, but she was dark energy and she corrupted it. Rain says, complete opposite for me. Everybody wants him. That's funny, Rain. Okay, that's fair. But I'm sure that when you guys got into a relationship, you put an energetic imprint on him that was juicy and sexy, that made lower vibrational women. Think about this, Rain. I don't know your story in full, but that made lower vibrational women even more attracted to him. All of a sudden, he can't beat him off with a stick as soon as your imprint's on him. So yeah, that may be the truth now, but think about it. Ah, he pursued you. Rain said he did not look at yeah. Well, he recognized you energetically, but in any case, that's fair. So different stories, and I'm glad Rain chimed in. Good morning, Rain. But that is the thing that will show up with your twin flame. So I left my twin flame because I understood that she was never going to be able to withstand the temptation. The life that God was taking me into, the life that I have had in previous lifetimes, where I did metaphysical work as a practitioner, as a shaman, as a high priestess, whatever you want to call it, whatever work I have done in my past life means good morning, sweet pea. Good morning, Rain. It means that I could not I knew that my person was weak. And a lot of our twin flames will be shown as the weaker person. Usually the masculine energy is the weaker person. And so they give into every temptation. There are things that were thrown at me, offered to me, that I just wouldn't do. There were temptations. There were deep emotions and feelings that I had that I did not pursue for anybody else because I knew who my person was, and that was it, you know? I compartmentalize very well, and I understand your life partner versus your twin flame versus your soulmate. I understand that we have different relationships that feed us in different ways, and I teach that here. Whether it seems to be weird, it's not. It's where the moon falls in my eighth house. I'm supposed to blow open your mind about boundaries and spirituality and sexuality. That's specifically, I have Scorpio in my eighth house, so that's what I came here to do. So I understood, and I'm not. I deal and dabble in the taboo in a way, but not in darkness, you know? And that's what my twin flame did dabble in, and I couldn't withstand it. And I knew that if I was in their life, it's so funny, I had to walk away from my own sanity and for a myriad of reasons, but I knew that if I was in their life, it was always going to be an endless barrage of poom poom that was free for that person because that was their jam. And it was going to be because of me. It doesn't mean, again, that they can't pull on their own. I will never not say that she did not have her own magnetism and a power to attract. I will say that with me on her back or in her energy or having her back, it made her far more attractive. And I will never not forget the spiritual battle that I did with the person that was a past life enemy who was like, I hate you for some reason, and I would like to take your person because if I have your person, it will validate me because you're a powerful person. I have no power that I can generate within me. And so if I take your person, now I am powerful too, and maybe your spirituality will come onto me and set me free. The crazy person that I did battle with was thinking like that, actually. And there would only have been more to come. And my angel said to me one day very clearly, they said, better that you are a story she tells over too much rum than a story she tells to other women who are dumb and have low self-esteem and are toxic. So now you're in spiritual battles wasting your time. The devil's very clever. And if I were to have stayed in the trenches and in the fight for some relationship that was never going to be a romantic endeavor or a true spiritual endeavor or a lucrative endeavor or a fruitful endeavor, it would have caused me to waste time. As it stood, I wasted a lot of time in that spiritual battle. Now, I don't want to say waste time. Nothing is wasted. I learned incredible fighting skills. Think of The Last Samurai. You think you're wasting time sharpening your blade over and over again and pulling it, unsheathing it, and waving it through the sky, but then one day a battle comes and you know why. So no, nothing is wasted. Guys, pardon me. Nothing is wasted in our journeys. It was an incredible battle. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, but my worst enemy was not equipped like me. Period, sis. They weren't ready. And the funny thing is, in a battle, you'll think you're not ready. And then you realize how ready you were. I've been practicing for lifetimes. And these are enemies that I've vanquished and slayed in other ones. And I did it in this one too. What I will tell you though, is this, and sometimes we don't always win in past lifetimes. They might have vanquished me, okay? But this, and not in this one. But I stepped away because I understood that the person that I cared about so much, who I don't care about at all now, but the person that I used to just think was so amazing and magical, was so weak and such a people pleaser. And I know that seems weird to say, right? This is a channel where I focus on empaths and I talk to divine feminines, and we often can be guilty of people pleasing, and we have been doormats and we've had work to do. Well, that's literally why it's called a twin flame, because they mirror you. That person used to, point out to me, and in fact, even in the last week that we were together, she pointed out to me people-pleasing tendencies because she was treating someone really badly. She had ascribed or taken on and assimilated a lot of narcissistic traits from the toxic woman who matriculated her way because of my energy. So there was a woman that was attracted to her because of the light that was around me, and she wanted to best me and kind of prove like, I am so worthy, I'm going to take your person. Well, she had other flying monkeys around her, and she was treating that one really badly, and she might have been sleeping with her and whatever, because she was just wild. And but I felt I had compassion for her because I could see that the person that she was, we'll call that person Jennifer. That Jennifer had very low self-esteem and was fangirling spiraling in her own way, which I get. And like, I didn't, she may have been malicious and hateful in her own way, but it's because she was sad in her life for a myriad of reasons. And so I understood it. I like, that's the thing about being a practitioner and a reader. You see past people's misery and pain. Even the person that was viciously attacking me, I understood the game. I understood what was happening in her life and what had made her insane. Some people are empty and evil, and that person was, but this other Jennifer person, just oddly kind of a fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, I felt for her because I'd been her. Honestly, I'd been her. And so she was doing bidding, and what, even if she had a crush or was sleeping with quote unquote my person, I didn't care. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird to say because I realized it wasn't to say that she wasn't a threat. It was to say that I don't know. My angel said to have compassion for her. She could have been the most evil of the bunch. She could have been the leader of the coven tribe of witches. Who knows? But I just, for whatever reason, did not find her. I found her sad, and I found her nervous, and she was very nervous around me. So anyway, she blew her off, and I remember telling her, don't do that, don't blow someone off, whatever. She was like, oh, she wants to go out and have dinner with us and whatever. And probably this was some weird thing where she's probably sleeping with her and wanted to throw me in her face and wanted to be like, and you bought my new bitch dinner. And because this is the kind of wildness that your twin flame will be up to when they are low vibrational and not vibrating with you. So in any case, that happened. And she was blowing her off though repeatedly. And I said to her in the middle of a blow off, I said, don't do that. Don't treat her that way. That's mean. And she was like, oh, you're such a people pleaser, covert narcissistic behavior, because she was wanting to kind of like dress me down because I was not going to be ill mannered, even if it was to someone who was a hater of me. I have integrity, y'all, through and through. I was like, she might hate me, boo, but don't treat her badly. That's you. You're a piece of shit, not me. And so anyway, so whatever that girl thought, she probably thought she was blowing her off because of me. No, she blew her off because that's who she was. She was a terrible person that way. But what I will say about that is what was I saying about that? Jennifer and people pleasing. People pleasing. Yeah, my person loved to accuse me of people pleasing. And it's not to say that I didn't. It's not to say that it wasn't a valley that I spent a lot of time in my life. It is to say that at the disembarkation of the connection, I looked at her and I realized how weak she was. And that was such a turnoff for me. Towards the end, she was like, oh, I thought this would never be. I thought you would never leave. Da 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 da. I didn't think I would either. I'd always seen her as so strong, and that's how you might know you're coming to the end of your twin flame journey, is everything that I thought was so strong, I now saw as so wrong. And I saw how she was so weak and easily manipulated, and I was embarrassed for her because maybe that's once how I had been. Clearly, we're attracted to each other for reasons that are similar. We have dark and light sides and synergies. But what I realized is that as I left is that she was me in a place I no longer wanted to be or would ever be. She was me in my early 20s. She was me in a cult. She was me. I was watching her relive a life in her 40s, and I thought, I want no part of this. Like, girl, I want to live. I want to travel. I want to enjoy myself. I don't want to be beholden to people that are shitty, that don't mean me well, that don't like themselves, that are void and full of darkness. And that's what she was surrounding herself with. And it was only getting more tempting. Like, I can't tell you, she was like a kitty in catnip because my light was really bright. So it brought all of the darkest energies in that wanted to compete with me. She is so stupid. And so naive. And that's what, it's so funny. That's how she saw me. So think about your twin flame journey, flip it and reverse it. The way that you might look at them when you're no longer interested is the way they looked at you at one point. And it's a full circle thing. I understand exactly how little she thought of me, because towards the end of it, it is exactly how little I thought of she. I thought she was immature. I thought she was naive. I thought she was easily manipulated. I thought she was too easily won. I thought she sold herself for too little. I thought that she was around darkness. I thought that she immersed herself around people that were incredibly abusive and that treated her horribly. I thought that she was not conscientious. I thought she was a people pleaser. I was disgusted, and I realized, oh, this is what the twin flame journey is about. It was about me realizing that these were all the things I had been. But I grew and I ascended. It doesn't mean I was better than her. It just means that I was not going to be in the gutter with her. Nor was I going to be the light in the gutter so that all the roaches and rats could come over and try to attack me. Real talk, that's a message, all right? Be very careful thinking that you want to stay in the trenches and battle your twin flame journey. Again, that does not mean that my person will not date. And for a lot of you guys, that's triggering, and that lets me know where you are in your journey. And I'm not judging you, but it's something for you to examine. When in the beginning, me thinking about her being friends and dating and all that stuff, I that wasn't a trigger for me. I always think people should have friends. I don't operate out of that jealousy. When I was dealing with the spiritual battle with the scorpionic energy, it was a low vibrational Scorpio that was a person that was trying to compete with me, that the rat and roach that was attracted to me, that via my light, because of my twin flame using me as bait. Um I remember feeling all those things, but it's because I was in the thrall of their energy. Energy is contagious and it transfers. So we were having spiritual battle. So I remember feeling jealous, and I had to deal with that. And I had to examine what that was. And I knew that my twin flame wanted me to feel that after a while. My angels were like pointed it out. She said she loves the bugs. That's what they said to me one day. They said she loves the bugs. There was an infestation in her house, and they said she loves the bugs. She's welcome in all of these creepy, crawly things energetically. Your twin flame does the same thing. And so as soon as I realized that, they said, you have to become rage, you have to become repellent, because this is not a hell that you're supposed to be in. This is what she's bringing to her. Your light is bright. And they said, if you want to stay in the gutter with her, you'll always be fighting off the rats and the roaches. It was a powerful statement. And because she'll use you because you're the best thing. So they said, they said to me this, better it be over a rum drink. I don't know why that rum drink was so important. They said, better it be over a rum drink that she tells a story that was my twin flame. We once had glory, than it be you actually, getting gory. Let you better be an allegory than a sad story. And I decided to divest. So people have asked me, why did you leave and this and that? It's because I was like, I'm not fighting these ratchets and roaches. That is exactly what ratchets, I said ratchets and roaches. They were ratchet too. That's exactly what the devil wants you to do. The devil would have loved for me to be fighting off Lindsay and Teensley and Peensley and Jennifer and Lanifer and Cranifer and all the people that never could do anything in their life, that looked at me and thought, who the hell she thinks she is? And they thought they had some moral compass or some racial compass to kind of judge me. And I was like, I ain't nobody got time for this. Now, listen, that doesn't mean that you won't get spiritually attacked as a practitioner, a divine feminine, or a metaphysician, or an earth angel. It happens, But I was like, I'm not going to get attacked because of the person that I used to love and respect. I lost all of that completely. It's so funny when you go through this journey. A lot of people will be like, I want my twin flame back. Mm, mm. And I always say, I wish I could give you guys some of what I have and not wanting them back. The way that I felt disgusted, it could have been very well how she felt about me the whole time, and like not thinking I was quote unquote worthy of being in her life and treating me the way that she did. Because when I saw her through new eyes, through healed eyes, I was like, you're acting like a kid. Also, it's gross. Also, I don't care. Also, it's funny because sometimes the other person, once you leave, will be like, I'm gonna get him back, and they still care about me, and our flame burns bright. Now they feel all the things you felt the whole time. I have none of those feelings for her. I could see her on the street and not care. I wouldn't be flustered. There's a time that you will be. So I'm not suggesting you break up with your person and then go back immediately, because you'll feel away. But now, could care less. Could care less. Don't even know what she looks like. Can't remember her voice. Very weird things happened. And that was my choice. I opted for a certain package in my disembarkation. And you can choose that, guys. I asked my angels to wipe her, like Men in Black, from my eyes and from my spirit. I said, let the messages and the things I need to teach linger and stay, so that I can help people get out of the twin flame journey if they understand it fully and the toxicity that it brings. And don't be waiting around for your twin flame. And that, fortunately, that was never a thing that I did. Well, I knew that if I left, I would leave for good. I'm not that type of person. I'm very fixed in my energy. So I knew that that was it. I'm not like, one day we're going to come back together 20 years later. I was like, one day, if she's alive in 20 years and I see her on the street, I'm running still. Like, I just never want to be around her again. I don't wish her ill will, but I want none of her energy in my energetic field, right? When I say this title, break up with your twin flame to avoid the temptation, I couldn't populate it fully, but what I'm saying is you bring temptation into your twin flame's life. It's not your fault, though. You're living in your light. Other toxic lower vibrational people, entities, family members, women, people that feel like they want to be in competition with you will be attracted to you, and they'll want to destroy the relationships. Have you had the sisters that are like, I don't like that person, or the mother or the father, that person's spirituality is weird, da, 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 da. It happens relentlessly. And so your twin flame usually is the weaker of the two, and they will always choose everything else. And then later they'll be like, oh no, it was always you. These people don't care about me at all, or they're dying anyway, or they're like whatever happens in their life, they'll wake up one day and they'll be like, it was always you. And now they want to put your love on top, but it's too late, boo boo. That's the twin flame journey. That's why I say it's wrought with toxicity. If I wanted my channel to blow up, all I would have to do is twin flame readings, and I would not be able to stop the growth. But I promised God and myself integrally that I would grow organically, actually, with real information, because I think it's so toxic to feed you guys a fairy tale and to tell you to hold on, they're coming back, and manifest them back and whatever. No, I tell people to move on with your life. I tell you, manifest in your soulmate who's going to treat you right, who's going to show up for you, who values you. And if that soulmate doesn't work, then you get another one, boo, and another one, like DJ Khaled, okay? I know that seems really cavalier. I'm not saying you just roll through partnerships. It's not that easy. It takes a while to connect with someone actually and greatly, but attachment is one of the things you're learning in that twin flame journey, okay? Abandonment issues are triggered in that journey, and whether you hold on or cling. So I'm attached to nothing. If God brings me people in my life, I'm like, lovely. Is it for a season? Is it forever? Are we compatible fully? Like, I really examine it. I will suck the marrow, meaning I will enjoy every part of that relationship, and not in an opportunistic way, but I'm no longer like, you have to stay forever and ever and ever. Okay, if you've served your time and we don't have any more work to do, then I'm like, and next, and I bid you adieu. I'm not, it's not hateful, but that's what your twin flame journey will break out of you, is that clingy attachment to this has to be the outcome. Because I wasted a lot of time, and a lot of you guys did too, thinking someone had to be an outcome only for them not to choose you, only for them to get swayed by every temptation that came their way. My angel said to me one day, if you love this person, you'll walk away. I said, what? I said, I thought that was just some trope that everybody used. They said, no. And I said, so is it all that, and then they'll come back to you too? And they said, no. Just love them enough to walk away. Love you enough to do it for you too. It was a powerful lesson. Mine didn't come with any kisses and rainbow pinky swear promises. They said, this person's really not a good person, but you showed them the light in them, and that was what your job was. Now they can fight their darkness and their demons on their own. You've already shown them how to get home, what their true north is, where spirituality is. It wasn't my job to hold their hand for the rest of their life. They said, if you do, you will only bring on your own bad karma and strife. When that person had delusions of like, yeah, she'll be back, she wants me back, I was laughing in my heart because I could hear her, because we were still connected for a while. And I remember one of the last times I talked to her, I said, look, the portal's closing. And I remember her rolling her eyes. And you say, were you sitting with her? No, I wasn't. I know my person. She literally rolled her eyes when I said that to her. We weren't together, but I know her energy, and I know she was like, Jesus Christ, this bitch is so fucking crazy. No, the portal was closing. I am not crazy. I am powerful. And you are not crazy. You are powerful. I meant what I said. And I knew that I was no longer allowing her in my head, my space, or my energetic time. That doesn't mean that she hasn't tried to be invasive in her own energetic way, of course. They keep on knocking, but they can't come in. That's the kind of energy. Noah's Ark. There was a very powerful tie-in to Noah's Ark for me, and that my twin flame journey, where her kid prophesied over me. Monette's gonna quote unquote make it, whatever that may be. My sweet Mowgli. My sweet Mowgli, who was destroyed by his parents' pathology. I hope that he makes it out of that. But he said, he heard something at Sunday school or school one day, and he said, because he grew up in a Christian kind of way, God bless him, and he says, if you need an arc, I know a guy. He said, call Monetti and tell her that. And I have a video up here where I talk about it more extensively. A prophet's never respected in their hometown, I think is what it's called. It's one of my favorites. But if you need an arc, I know a guy. And it was his way of saying, Monette, you're going to make it. It was like out of the mouth of babes. I didn't know I was going to go into spiritual battle with his mom. I didn't know it would end up this way. And my sweet Mowgli even tried to tell her, like, hey, these are demons and roaches that you're around, but she was too down bad and too filled with ego. And you know what, it reminds me of the balloon in It. You know, we all float down here. She was just in the deepest gutter of despair and alcoholism and addiction, and she just couldn't see that she was with fucking demons. And he could, actually, and I could, but that was, not, they figure it out on their own. That's why I say don't try to save your twin flame. What's I gonna go do, float with them too in the gutter and be with the It balloon and the crazy clowns? I was like, nah, not today, Satan. But he said to his mom, you need an ark, I know a guy. So it's full circle. And that's why I said you keep knocking, but you can't come in. That's the premise of Noah's Ark. Everybody thought he was crazy. Maybe your twin flame thought you were crazy, didn't understand his spiritual journey, thought you were nuts, thought you were clean. As you're building the ark, and then one day it rains, and it's never rained like it's rained, and it floods and it pours, and people are knocking, but they can't come in. Never again, never more. Quote the Raven, never more. Yeah, very Edgar Allan Poe, very poetic, very dark. You can't get in ever again. I knew that. And that's why I was like, girl, you sure you don't want to get it? You sure you don't want to get it? I invited her to the ark several times in the last few days that I was with her. And even before the portal closed, I was like, hey, this portal's closing. You want to get in? And she was still in ego. She was still being stubborn. She still had something to prove. And I said, good, then go prove it with them. Be a people pleaser with them. It's not going to be me. Now, a lot of you guys in your twin flame journey want to stay in the trenches and fight the demons and fight the roaches. That wasn't my battle. My angel said, you have other roaches and demons to fight. It is not these. And also, they said, you will never, hold on one second, guys. You will never, my foot fell asleep. You will never go through this again in your life. So they said to stay attached to your twin flame is to be guaranteed strife that is endless. Do you understand, guys? They said to stay attached to your twin flame is to be guaranteed drama and competition, because your light's so bright, it will always bring in other attention. Even when I think about it, I think about those roaches. I have a physical reaction to the roach that I had to fight, to the rat in her life. And so still to this day, I have like physical reactions to it. But they said you will always be doing this, and they said we want you to teach, we want you to heal, we want you to go, we want you to travel, we want you to do a lot of things that don't have to do with being in a subterfuge battle that is brought to you by your alleged twin flame. So that's why I don't do the twin flame readings. I thought I was going to, because we're all curious about it when we get into it, and then the more I researched it immediately, I don't know how other people don't see it. That makes me question their integrity. It's bullshit. Don't wait for anybody. They're not waiting for you. They're quite actually living their other life. They're sleeping with other people, and they know, like, yeah, that's my person spiritually, but I'm gonna go do this, that, and the third. And I know that hurts to hear. If anything, I wanted to get on here and do some, like, water in your face, like cold water in your face to wake you up, because too many people that I counsel are wasting time waiting for someone to come back. And as much as they think they're not connected, like, but okay, so but when are they going to break up and blah 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 blah. And I get it. We all have been there. Fortunately, I'm not even going to hold you. I was not there for that person. I told her stay with them forever and ever. Amen. I bless them. I bless them. I said, that's your partner. I love my twin flame so much. I didn't want her to be alone. I was like, if you want to be with the devil, then God bless it. I hope the horns don't kill you when y'all are having sex. I hope you make it, girl. Like, I didn't care anymore. And that's a place that I want you guys to get to. It's a place of humorous apathy where it's like, I guess if you like it, I love it. I don't know what to tell you. I wasn't going to be in the trenches, because that was just one way for the devil to get me off my path, was to fight crazy Lindsay, or to fight, insecure Jennifer, or crazy mother that's a narcissist, or a crazy father that's a pet, all kinds of creepiness. And like, I was like, why am I arguing with these people that are not good humans at all? And that's what I want you guys to take a look at. Your twin flame will let you take the fall. They will scapegoat you, and they'll be like, no, you abandoned me, but really they abandoned you. And they were wild as a Taliban, as they did it too. And then if you stay in their life, it will bring too much energy and attention their way. At first, you will want to divest, and it might be spitefully. When I understood my power, I was like, you think I'm staying for you to get all this good, juicy, whatever? And they said, nothing that she's getting is good and juicy. They said, don't stay, because she's just not able to be in your energy. She's going to be jealous. She's going to be competitive. And if she's not, she's going to attract, your light attracts women that are toxic and that have never accomplished anything for themselves. So they will then be competitive with you. And she'll be like, yes, over here, ladies, I'm the prize. Can't you see it too? I was like, not today, Satan. I was like, if she wants to be the prize, let her be the prize of the barflies, okay? Let her be the Lord of the Flies. I was like, ain't nobody got time for that. So I wish I could give you guys what I had, which is a healthy disattachment from it. Because now I look back on it and I'm like, girl, that's hilarious. No, my life is meant for greater things. It's not to fight every one of your person that thinks that you're the ring and Lord of the Rings, my precious. You're not precious. You're horrible. And yeah, that's your twin flame. And that was you. And that's the mirror that you hold up to yourselves. Maybe you were horrible too. And when I say, can I say objectively I was horrible? I was all the things I listed though. I was insecure. I was a people pleaser. I was all the things she became. She literally flipped places with me, and I was so unattracted to her. And that could have been why she wasn't attracted to me fully in the way that I wanted her to be when I was like, I'm your twin flame, because I didn't know my worth or my value. And it wasn't until I saw it on her that I was like, oh, this is so ugly. I get it. I wouldn't have slept with me either. I wouldn't have dated me either. And even though we did sleep together and date and all of the things, having it be taken seriously, I totally get that she was like, I could do better. When I saw her, I was like, not only can I do better, I've done better, I am better, I will better, period. Do you get it? It was a flip in reverse. So all the years before when she was like trying to have me jump through hoops and be like, prove your worth, and she was complete utter trash, basura, and I have no recompense saying it. If she was standing in my face today, I would tell her you're basura. I mean, it is what it is, you know? The people she attracted were basura, she was basura, she was vibrating at a basura level of rats and roaches. It was what it was. And my angels are like, look up. Cinderella, your pumpkin coach has arrived. Please expeditiously exit stage left and leave these folks to die. If she wants to be Romeo, then Romeo must die. It was just that simple for me. I was like, oh, gross. It's funny. I wish that you guys can understand that some of your twin flames are pining away after you. And they're like, one day when she looks into my eyes, she looks at me and I look at her and she looks at me and I look at her. If you guys know who that's from, put it in the comments. It's someone we're not allowed to talk about. They're canceled. But like, they think that that's what's going to happen. That's not happening at all. You're like, I look at you and I look at my brand new sparkly life. I look at you and I look at my new husband or wife. I look at you and I look at my bank account. I look at you and I look at my CPA. I look at you and I look at my business that I put together by myself. I look at you and then I look at my empire. I look at you and I look at my kids. I look at you and I look at my threads. I look at you and I look at my vacations. I look at you. Like, what you're looking back at is nothing. It is rats and roaches. And then you've built this beautiful life for yourself. And some of my people, God bless your souls, are still like, but my twin flame, will they come back? I'm like, look at what you built for yourself. Why do you want them to come back? And some of you guys are holding prosperity at bay if you're still wanting to be in the twin flame way. The second you divest from your twin flame, you get everything you ever wanted in spades, because they were a blockage for you. It was a test. Your angels wanted to see, will you forfeit this thing that you think is your riches to get your real riches? And I'm not just talking about monetary wealth. Oh, that's a thing too. I'm talking about real love that loves you, real adventures that want to adventure with you, real people that are part of your spiritual journey, platonic or romantically. A support system for someone that's on a spiritual journey is imperative. And your twin flame understands that that's what they are supposed to provide, and they deprive you of it because it's the only bargaining chip that they have. I didn't want her sex. I didn't want her love in that capacity. I had that. It wasn't of interest to me. What I wanted was her spiritual and forthright connection and energy. That doesn't mean I don't like sex. Y'all know I love it. And you all know that I talk a lot about our sacral chakra and how you should be sexually connected. Or if you're being celibate, use that energy to harness and manifest. Sexual energy is powerful and it's simply the best. I enjoy it delightfully. But I was not going to engage with my twin flame in that capacity, because it would have been such a waste, because she was going to take my energy and feed it to the roaches and the rats. And as it stood, she did it anyway. But if I would have been sexing her, I can't even imagine what would have happened, it would have not gone well. So that was out of interest to me. I wanted a support system and a team. Had she had loved me right energetically, then all the rest of the things that she wanted that were her carnal delights would have been fulfilled completely if we were in the right time frame to do it. Unfortunately, we ran the clock out. So we just couldn't get to it. And what happened when the clock ran out, girl, it was like Cinderella for real. I woke up and I was like, she's a roach, she's a rat. I don't ever want to go back. Like, I realized that she was so low vibrational. I was like, what happened? I felt like I woke up out of a spell, truly. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, for real. You know, she used to tell me Aurora was the best. She always had a penchant for a blonde. And yeah, Aurora was the best, I guess. Now Aurora's got her under a spell, and that's good. And I woke up. I was like, yes, now I'm no longer Sleeping Beauty. Now I'm no longer the Princess and the Pea. I feel the issue underneath me, and I removed it expeditiously. Stop holding on for your twin flame. Break up with them. I know it's not popular to say, but when you leave them, you go on your own merry way. You get a soulmate who actually likes you. And again, if that doesn't work out, you get another boo. You'll figure it out, guys. But what you don't have to stay for is this torturous thing where someone could never look you in your eyes and just be like, I love you. I'm here for you. As a spiritual practitioner, these are some of the most important words that you will hear. Depending on where Libra is in your chart, this matters to you. A lot of us crave partnership for a reason. It's not out of codependency. It's because it's edifying when we're in a healthy partnership. And so many lovely things happened in my life when I got into a healthy partnership. With my husband, meaning my husband was very grounded for me, but also with my soulmate that came in after my twin flame journey, I was really grounded after that. Like, I felt so fully nurtured and loved and supported. Doesn't mean that there weren't hiccups or moments of idiosyncrasies that we both had. What it means is that her energy was true and she had my back and she was a true blue friend and she meant something to me. And with her support, I flourished, which is what was always meant to be. That's why I'm saying welcome in people that are going to help you flourish on your journey and release this whole twin flame thing, because all that ever provided me was toxicity and lack. I was always just malnourished and like, when is she going to have my back? Like, I have her back, and when is she going to support me? And la, 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 la. Meanwhile, roaches and rats, she was building scaffolding to support them. She was building matchbox scaffolding. She was like, I'll build you a city. I'll build you a life. Captain Save-A-Ho. And that's another thing. We're not weak bitches, okay? I'm thinking of Bia. I don't mess with weak. What does she say? I don't mess with jealous bitches. That's a weak disease. Yeah, your twin flame journey, what happens is you're the light, and then they've got all these jealous bitches that are living in weak disease. And she was erecting like edifices of support for them. And for me, who was easy to support, she was like, oh, it's exhausting. I just don't know. I was like, okay. Well, I'm gonna let your angels are gonna let you see what exhausting is. Since you don't believe in them, now you sold your soul to the devil. The angels still exist, and now you can go see how exhausting it is to erect scaffolding for roaches and rats. They're ungrateful, just like you, boo. Bling, twin flame mirror stuff. My mirror twin flame stuff is much different than you, guys, in that I am not idolizing it. It's not on a pedestal for me. I'm like, oh, let's mirror each other that way, actually. Now you see what it is to go work for people that are ungrateful, that are mentally ill, that are sucking the life out of you, that don't reciprocate, that make you feel like crap even though you're doing your absolute best. Cheers. Girl, I wouldn't go back. Boy, I wouldn't go back. You know what does the writer say? I wouldn't take nothing from my journey now. I wouldn't take nothing from my journey now. It's so funny to me because a lot of people that I counsel are like, they came back and they said, and I'm just listening to them like, yeah. And then they might act right for a little while, and then they're going to go right back to the cycle, because toxic people that haven't learned their lesson just recycle that. And I said, Roger that. You know that song, guys, copy that. Oh, you don't like me? Roger that. Oh, you hate me? Copy that. Perfect. Because even though she wasn't saying it with her words, actually, she said it with her actions every day and in every way. And she pushed me away. And sometimes when you push someone away, they'll go away. Message. Be careful with that. We only have so much bandwidth. Here's the thing too, guys. Just as an aside message here. You're allowed to want what you want in your life. That's something I've been working through lately. I realized like I'm allowed to want exactly what I want. And because of my twin flame journey, I found myself triggered recently and wondering about integrity and people and thinking, am I getting played here? Is this person playing games with me? You know, like it was a business situation, but I was like, is this a game here? You know, and then it showed up and it was proven that it was in fact, and other people like called it to attention, and it was an interesting thing. So trust your intuition at all times. You're allowed to want what you want. You know, unapologetically, everybody wants what they want. Okay, so a lot of times empaths, we like take the background, we're like, oh, my wants don't matter, and with our twin flames we were so used to shelving our wants and our desires. But you deserve to be loved fully and nourished fully in whatever capacity you see fit for that to be for you. Okay, break up with your twin flame. They are not as strong as you, and what they'll only do is seek to bring negative attention to you from toxic, lower vibrational women operating out of masculine energy who want to compete with you, and they get their validation from taking your person from you, because if they could take your person, it must mean that they're worthwhile, when really they're just a child. So, that's your message today. Do not be in the twin flame fighty kind of way. It's so not worth it. You do not deserve it. You deserve a soulmate who nourishes. And the first thing is you're going to have to nourish you. And the way that the universe knows that you're done getting boo booed on and getting treated badly is you say, I pick me. Instead of being a pick me where you're doing everything so someone picks you, you pick yourself actually, boo. And that's what I did. So I'm telling you what I did. I said, I don't care if I'm by myself for the rest of my life. There's got to be something better than this. And if better than this is by myself, then I pick that. I was so sick of her toxic treatment. I was so sick of her not acknowledging the relationship. I was so sick of her acknowledging the relationship and gaslighting me and love bombing me with it privately. You're my person. I've saved every newspaper clipping and everything, and la 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 la. Like a full ass love bomb, only to be a full ass demon. You know, I was like, okay, save the clipping, save my first painting, save all that stuff. You're gonna miss it and want it later. I hope you, when it all went down, I was like, maybe I hope she burned it all, because I felt bad for her, because I knew the way she would miss me and I knew the way it would hurt, because I had missed her too, and I had hurt for her too. You will share everything with your twin flame. Unfortunately, what you share is a lot of doo doo. Okay, and that is the truth. It was a lot of crap. And I knew how she would want me back, because when she left me in front of my face, Caspered me completely. Yeah, I wanted her back too. I missed her, but I was with her, so I was lucky. And maybe some of you guys have not had that experience, in that I got to mourn her with her. I got to look at her and talk to her on a daily basis as she walked away from me, and my angels helped me, because they knew that that's the way I needed it. I needed closure. So you can actually request that too on your disembarkation from your twin flame. You can request the package you want. I'm not going to be insane when this is over package. So I needed to have closure. And I knew that it was not something that she could provide me with, because of her immaturity and her addictions and her allegiances and her people pleasing. Y'all, that's why I say work on your people pleasing. Can that be a quick message too? I was never more turned off than when I actually I've watched people please recently around me too, and it's a turn off for me. It's so funny. I could be so attracted to you and so like, oh, I just want to devour you. I love you so much. And then if I see someone people pleasing, I am no longer tempted to touch it. It's like an immediate repellent for me, which is so funny, because it's the way I used to be. I don't know. Are any of you guys the same? Can you relate to that? I get it now. I get why people treated me the way they did, and I get why people felt like they did about me. It's been such an eye opener to be on this quote unquote twin flame journey, because I was disgusted by her people pleasing. I was like, ooh, like, ew, ooh, 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 gross. You don't love yourself at all. And I got it. And I was like, oh, you didn't love yourself at all. When I see people that I think are strong or boss babes or whatever, and then they like cower to somebody, I just am like, that's fascinating. And part of me will want to help, because that's what I do, right? I'll put my cape on. I'll be like, let's help you. But then if I can tell that like you're just determined to be in that state, then I have to just emotionally cut myself away from that part of your life and move on and just love you in other capacities. But if you are stuck there, then the people please away. But I'm here to help people grow. But also, I had to grow on my own accord, and no one could make me do better until I was ready to. until I was ready to see my people pleasing ways and how I was killing myself to make everybody happy. Now I say no and it causes meltdowns for people. Now I stand up for myself and I tell people get fucked and it causes issues. It does. But the truth is they respect me. And I'm never, I mean, it's such a cliche, but it's the truth. You know, there's a book called Men Love Bitches, right? And the masculine energies in my life prefer when I'm with them 100%, whether it's a broski in-law, or a person, or actual brother, whatever the case may be. When I'm like, I'm not dealing with your BS today, for whatever reason, they seem to respect me. I don't know how many years of my life I spent cowering and trying to make it sweet and polite, and all I ever had to do was just be like, F you. I'm not dealing with that. And I'm not just mean for no reason, but I stand up for myself and I have my own back. I don't need my husband to have it. I don't need my bestie to have it. I will have my own back. If I think someone's being rude and ridiculous, I say it. Unless I love someone, there'll be times where I'll like curtail my very acerbic tongue if I care about someone. Like if I'm watching them go through something, I had that happen recently. I didn't like something that I saw, and because I love the person, I didn't cuss out that other person because of the connection. I was like, you know what? Duly noted, though. Like duly noted. I'm saving a cuss out for you if I gotta give it to you. But if you're not gonna fight this battle, then I'm not gonna fight it either for you. That's what I learned in my twin flame journey, not to be codependent. I didn't codependently rush in to save that person. I observed what happened. I didn't like it. I told them later I don't like what just happened. I saw it, and then it wasn't my place. We don't have to be Captain Save a Hoe all the time, and that person's not a hoe in any regard. But we don't have to save and rescue people that are okay with their conditions, because sometimes people are okay with their condition, and maybe we're in their life to help them raise their vibration and they'll change it on their own. But it was not my job to go in and just like be a bull in the china shop and knock it over. Now if it happened to me, bull in the china shop, actually immediately wrecking shop, no problem. But sometimes you'll love someone until you'll temper that. But I have such a backbone now that I got backbone to lend out, and I was like, if you're not ready to do that, then that's fine, but just know I'm holding space for you. I love you, and I saw that, and it wasn't fair, but it's okay. If you're okay with it, then I'm okay, and I'm gonna back up. You gotta give people respect and give them their space, right? So please understand that your twin flame cannot be in your life because your light's too bright, and it's going to just bring in a lot of things that they aren't strong enough to fight. My angel said it to me so clearly. They said she's weak. She's going to always cheat. She's going to always. And here's the thing. Our relationship dynamic was funky and weird. So I expected her to have other relationships, but they said you wanted emotional fidelity. She was not giving that to you. She was backstabbing you. She was gossiping about you. That's what I mean by cheat. For me specifically, for some of you guys, it's actual physical body. She could have slept with everybody in the state. Didn't bother me at all. What I cared about was emotional fidelity and having respect and loyalty to me. Put some respect on my name. I meant that. Now she understands that I meant that. I'm playing no games, and she'll never get a redo over or a get back. She'll never get to be in my energy field because I don't trust her now. Period. What after the trust is gone, what used to be right is wrong. That's it. After the love is gone, it's done. There is no comebacks and we make apologies and all that stuff. I don't do that. And I don't do that because when someone shows you who they are, believe them. She now showed me that she had the propensity to be as evil as she was and as low vibrational, and to team up with the opposition. Literally, a past life enemy of mine, she teamed up with and did it in my face and threw it in my face and thought that it was going to be funny and that I would just smile and that we would walk away into the sunset. Fuck you forever. I meant that. That's okay. I forgive you, but you're not going to eat at my table. It's not about let it go. She's still so bitter. She hates me. Oh, I don't hate you. I just see you now. You are now seen. I've clocked you. And now I'm not going to put myself in the danger. Come into the danger zone. I'm not going to fly in the danger zone with you, homie. You never get a chance to roll me like that again. And for twin, flame, foe, or friend, I don't give a damn. You don't get a chance to roll me twice once I've identified that you're toxicity in my life. Yeah, I'll give people lots of chances. Yeah. I'm good for that. 3 strikes for sure. But if I see you don't have my back or you're weird for some reason, it's okay. That we learned our lesson and we learned what we had to do and depart from them. Okay. So once again, if you're just joining, break up with your twin flame. They're not strong enough to withstand your incoming light, your fame, your acclaim, your clout, whatever your life is going to be about. They can't handle it. They will use you to try to get attention. They will use you to pull in roaches and rats that are groupies of you, really. and they don't know what to do with it. I said, my angel said, you love her enough to let her pull on her own. And what I mean by pull, when I say pull, that means like dating people, like being able to pull people into your, energetic sphere. Can you pull a date? And so they said, let her pull on her own. She thinks she's so great. Her ego's so inflated. She's so magical. She thinks her sex is so great. Excellent. Let's put it to the test. Let's see if she gets the best when she is divested from you or when you divest from her. And I already knew the writing was on the wall. Meeny, meeny, tinkle, you have awaiting the balance and found wanting. Energy is powerful. We are powerful, divine feminine. I think we so underestimate it. And if I have to spend the rest of my life talking from every mini pulpit to big pulpit to this dark screen phone, I am always going to make sure that you know your North Node and that you find your way home, which is to yourself and loving you. You deserve love around you because you give good love. You give love, good love, more love than people have ever seen. When you walk away from your twin flame, they understand that they were once at one point living the dream, and now you're no longer on their team. The light is not as bright in their life as it seemed. They are living a nightmare and they wish that they could get back there, but they can't because they burned it down to the ground. And they did it with all the roaches and rats around who were singing and saying, burn, baby, burn, disco inferno. Now it's a lesson for them to learn. Girl, boy, man, woman, divine masculine, divine feminine, it's not your circus. Those are not your monkeys. Now, a little bit of advice for people that are pitching tents, then that's where we're going to build the circus. Let me talk about sticking up for yourself. If someone serves you some energy, deal with it at that point. Immediately. Nip it in the bud, as Barney Fife would say from Mayberry. Expeditiously, as T.I. would say. I dealt with that recently. Just a quick aside. Someone served me some nasty energy, and normally I would just let it ride. And I called them on it right away. I was like, hey, can we talk real quick? What the fuck is this? Why, when I'm being kind to you, do you think that it's okay to talk to me? And when I tell you the amount of stuttering, well, I misread the text, but I didn't, they turned it into Elmer Fudd. It was fascinating. This was a masculine energy. It was a male with a penis, and I was like, this doesn't fly with me. And it's not because I'm some badass. It's just because I've learned that empathy is for people that have compassion. And he was not being empathetic with me. He had been cruel, and he was not dealing with me properly. But when I called him on it, all of a sudden he's stuttering. He's almost to tears. He is loving me and all of my skin and ethnicity when there were some things that were called into question about behavior that he had. And I thought, this is fascinating. Normally, that's something I would have let be. I would have been a doormat. I would have let he walk on me. But I said, hey, let me chin check you real quick. Now, that could have gone badly. Guys, you need to know your boundaries, and you need to be willing to walk away from a relationship, because sometimes you'll chin check somebody and they won't like it and it'll turn into a thing. But I am no longer afraid to lose anything at all. Nothing. I don't know why God put me through what he did, but then I realized on the other side of it, oh, it was to be this way. When you have nothing to lose, you move differently. So I don't care if you like me. I don't care if you want to stick and stay. I don't care if you respect me. I know that there will be people that do, that are my actual tribe. And if you don't, then good riddance to you. Bye. I really don't care anymore. And that is something that I was so attached to in my people pleasing ways. Well, what if I say this, and what if whatever? And to this person, this masculine energy that I had to go toe to toe with, I said, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Mo. M to the O, no. That's from a little spin on Hope, right? My name is Hope, H to the O-V. No, allow me to reintroduce myself. I did say that to him. I said, you knew me as passive and kind and perhaps even weak, and I let you get away with a bunch of shenanigans that were absolutely inappropriate. But now, today, this day of our year of our Lord, not today, Satan. You don't get away with it anymore. I said, so if you have an issue with me when we're face to face, this is the energy I'm bringing to you. I said, if anybody else around us has an issue, they're getting this energy too. No more Mr. Nice Guy. That's a person I like. Self-esteem, that's my type. And that's why your twin flame cannot be around your light because they hate your self-esteem. They loved when you were doormatted and they could walk over you. I wish I could. The greatest regret I have about my twin flame is that I couldn't rewind back to the person I am today and bring her the energy that she deserved. My greatest regret is not cussing her ass out directly to her face scathingly. I know that sounds crazy, right? But it's the truth. I was so sweet and I took the high road and I got paid back richly from the universe and my angels. So there was a payment, there was a compensation package for not being an asshole to her. But that is my greatest regret, is that I wasn't who I am now today to her. I would have cussed her out in a way that would have made her rethink her whole life and made her ancestors rethink it too. In fact, her ancestors came to me. They said, we are rethinking her life. Now that she's been around you, we see what a piece. So that was really funny to me. So, girl, y'all, when you stand in your power, even their ancestors will come to you and be like, she's wilding. Yo, I didn't realize she was like this. So it was really funny to me because crossed over people came to me and they were like, yo, we've been trying to talk to her. We're sorry. We're apologizing. Like her coalition, which was, she'll never understand it because she's so dense, but her coalition came to me and the delegation that handled her. And they were like, listen, we know, we're real sorry about this behavior. We really did try to talk to her. We know that we sent you in to save her, Captain Save-A-Ho. We knew that you guys had a mission. I'm so sorry. She's going the other way. I don't know what to tell you. Listen, just get out of here. Even her own mother, I know that seems really touchy, right? But I'm a spiritualist and it is what it is, came to me in the light, not in the night. In the night she came, but in the light, she stood there as an apparition and she was like, get out of here. And not in a mean way, not in a foreboding, ghosty way of like, go, we hate you here. She was like, just, this is a mess. It's a dumpster fire. You did your best. Thank you. You'll be compensated on your way out the door. When the ancestors are coming to you, her own ancestors came to me. I was like, it was so funny. Pay attention to some of the things that happen in your communication with your twin flame on the way out, because she knew her mother was coming because she would talk to me about it. She didn't know it, but she would talk to me about it specifically. And she would say, Scoby, that was something that we had in common. I was making kombucha and she used to say to me, my mom would have these aliens growing in the closet. It's so weird that you do this. I've never met anybody else in my life that does this, because I would make kombucha on my counter and stuff. And I would send her pictures of it. And she was like, it's so weird. My mom used to grow these aliens. I thought they were like aliens and whatever. Her mother and I had a lot in common. Her mother communicated with me, but she would come to me and say stuff like, I miss my mother. I thought of my mother today. Her mother was talking to me. I didn't tell her that every time, but I knew that she was getting the messages from her mother because she would just randomly come to me and say, I miss my mom. You know, I've been missing my mom. I've been thinking a lot about her today. And I was never going to exploit that relationship. You know, I didn't play on it. You have to be very responsible with your twin flame or anybody that you deal with spiritually. It is not for you to like rub in their face the ancestral connection, right? I never even talked to her about it too deeply. A little bit I did. And when I would get messages from her mom, maybe 2 or 3 times I spoke to her about it. But that was it. I didn't give her the full Monty of it because she couldn't handle it. She wouldn't believe me. You know, it was touchy. It's someone's crossover parent. I had to be delicate. Even though she was a complete and utter asshole to me, I still was delicate with her, because when you love someone, you will be that way. And I did love her. Even though she was terrible, I did love her. You can't lie about that. All these years later, I can't say I hated her for the rest of my life. Now she's nothing to me and all the rest of that. But in there was a moment where I cared deeply for her. And so I wasn't going to bludgeon her with her ancestral warnings. Her mother spoke to her clearly in various ways, and I knew that. Excuse me, maybe the same is true for you. You hear that, guys? Yes, I'm drinking water, but I'm burping. The reason when I burped, when I said her mother spoke to her clearly, her mother spoke to her about the roaches and rats that she was running around and trying to triangulate me with. And I have physical reactions to that, roaches and rats, still to this day. Like getting them out. Like, it feels like, you know what happens when that happens to me? I feel like I'm still expelling energy for her, which is why I hate to be in the energy with her. Because I'm like, I don't want to help you do nothing at all. But I still feel like it's like she's got to like spew it out of her mouth, you know? Anyway, I told her to stay because she's weak and whatever the case may be. But her mom did come to me and said, and thanked me in her own way, and was like, thank you for loving her and thank you for doing the best you could with her. And I did give you these little connections. And I will tell you that with your new soulmate connections or someone, your parents, if you have a crossed over parent, they will come in to validate it. In my soulmate connection, I was really lucky that I got to meet one of my soulmate's parents before they passed away. We had a breakfast together and spent some time together and everything several years ago. And then he passed away. And I was able to work with my soulmate as she was processing that and all the rest of it. But one thing happened, which was interesting, which has never happened for me as I meander here. My father came in and co signed my soulmate. Never in my whole relationship life, not my husband, not ex-wives, not past girlfriends, not past boyfriends, have I had my father come in and co-sign the person in my life. And it happened in a really metaphysical, weird way. And I'll tell you, we were talking about business and we were talking about positive, magical things that were happening that I've been manifesting and working on. And I was at a really high note in the conversation. And she was like, oh my gosh, your dad just popped in. My dad's name is very distinctive. His name is Moses. It's not just a random name that you see. And I said, what? And what happened was on her Facebook feed, because of the Facebook stuff that she looks into and whatever. You guys have heard me talk about my soulmates from Wyoming. Well, so she pays attention to a lot of like Sioux Indians and various Indian, indigenous people info comes through her feed because that is the culture that she was connected to. And so there was an Indian that was being celebrated, and his name was Moses of something or other. Moses Happy, big wealth, happiness. Something was his name, but it was all the things that were pertaining to what we were talking to: wealth, happiness, abundance. It was literally in his name. His name was like Moses Wealth, Big Happiness, something like that. And it was my father's way of saying to me, I like this one. Keep her. Now, what's so funny, guys, we all know our parents can have various levels of craziness and racism. My father did not care for his kids to date white people, which is so interesting because that's what I did. I dated black people, Spanish people, everybody too, but I dated white people too, and so did my sisters and other things. And so my father hated my twin flame. Can I tell you that? Crossed over, he is dead, but he came through. My father was a narcissist. You guys have heard me talk about this. It was a full circle while I was there. Just like her mother came to me, my father came to me. And he was like, this is happening because of our relationship that I never healed properly with you. You're accepting this toxic ass behavior from this person. And my father wanted me to handle her old school. And that was my spiritual battle. They said, no, don't you dare get into the mix. My angels, like literally, you want to talk about the angel and the devil on your shoulder? Even though my father's crossed over and has done his work, he still has his essence and his energy. And he was angry. When your ancestors come through, they're not all love and light. They wreck shop if someone tries you. So when you hear me talk about ancestors, it's not all like kumbaya, let's go sit by the lake and carve bamboo. No, okay? Sit by the river and carve baskets for Moses to float down in. My father Moses, literally was like, smite this hoe. Real talk, y'all. I know it's YouTube, but I'm just gonna tell you the truth. He was like, smite her. Like, this is unacceptable. The way that she's tried you is unacceptable. And her mom was there too, and so it was a little bit of spiritual battle that she'll never know ever happened. But I didn't do it. I rose to my better angels, and my angel said, leave early, get away from her, go in the room, throw up. I did a lot of purging, right? I'm talking about this. I don't even know why. I think it's because of the eclipse. I'm actually lancing the last of all the things out of it, all the pussy grossness out of it. But my angels were like, my angels really counsel me, when they say footprints in the sand, that's what they're talking about. Actually, you think you're by yourself. I wasn't. I had a lot of angelic and paranormal activity happening in that last week that I was physically with her, because it was a big challenge. It was a test. My life could have gone in a fully different direction had I decided to be abusive, which was some of the stuff that she had been working out and her mother had worked out, a lot of toxic, physically abusive situations. And they said, are you going to succumb to this, or are you going to rise, and are you going to talk to the nations? That was truly what my angel said. Are you going to be in this toxicity, or are you going to rise to your better angels, because we want you to speak to the nations? Now, at the time, I didn't know what that meant, okay? Now I do. When Mr. Chalk Chalk popped in yesterday, he's in West Africa, and there's someone that comes in who's from Australia, and there's someone that comes in the nations. And that's just, there's one of you in each nations, and it probably is just 30 of us here, but that's what they meant. It didn't have to be that grand, right? Like when they said the nations, I was like, the nations? What? Me? No, my angels were like, it could be one person in each nation, girl, relax. They love to humble me. They humbled me real quick. They're like, girl, we talking about that one person, Mr. Chalk Chalk in West Africa. We're talking about that one person in Paris. We're talking about that one person in Alaska. We're talking about that one person that's in South Korea that you read with. Like, that's what they meant by the nations. But if I was sitting in a jail cell because I wanted to be on an episode of Snap because some narcissist was triangulating me, and I decided to not have my own spiritual back, um, mm, we wouldn't be on this live today. You understand? And my angels did tell me this will be your greatest test. We'll never test you like this again, but you got to pass this one, because I had a great amount of passion and love for that person at the time. And my people pleasing was no longer in me. And I was like, you want to fight? You want to bumba? You want to do with the big boys? And my angel says, save all that fight and all that noise for your writing, for your words. Transmute the energy. Talk and teach other people that are not yet free. Let them know about that toxic twin flame journey. Tell them to divest expeditiously. Talk to the nations. Don't be in here in some white trash fight in some broke down trailer, some broke down palace that's dilapidated AF, with a person who's never filled your cup, who doesn't love you but loves to fuck up. Yeah. Y'all, it was a real big message. And my dad was there, and her mom was there, and my angels were there, and it was so powerful. And I wouldn't be here if that hadn't happened. So when my father came into my soulmate recently and said, we like this one, I like this one. They said, oh, that's interesting. There must have been more people there than just my dad. That was 48. I didn't mean to say that, but we like this one. So apparently my ancestors like my partner at this point in my life, right? And while I'm still practicing non-attachment to that partner, she is liked. It's the first time in my life I've ever had ancestral confirmation that we like your partner. I have a life partner. You guys know I have a husband. I have friends. I have besties. I have long-term spiritual people that I've spent time with and communicated with that I love me and I love them. I have bulldogs, and I have you guys have heard me talk about my friend Goldilocks, who was in the trenches with me, who built gingerbread houses with me. Like, I have lovely people in my life, but this is the first time that I had actual confirmation from my father that I finally got it right. Like, maybe I think that my ancestors hand selected the soulmate that's in my life. And whether she stays forever or not, guys, they said that she's supposed to be here right now, and we sent her here to help you through a really hard time. No one else could have done it. All those people in my life I just mentioned were ill-equipped to help me through the greatest mourning I ever did regarding my twin flame. They loved me. My husband loved me. My friends loved me dearly. They showed up for me in lots of ways as I was very sick last year. Actually, they were at the hospital. Each one of those friends I talked about showed up for me. One took me, one brought me a charger in the middle of the night. People were lovely to me. I can never not talk about them in the highest of light and vibration, but there was a soulmate who held me, who was with me every step of the way, who took care of me every single day. And when my father came through on her feed, she sent the screenshot to me. I think I'm going to send it. I'm going to put it on my community page just so you can see it and see the name Moses. There's nothing magical about the message. It was some Indian that was being honored, or some indigenous person rather, that was being honored, but it was paranormal activity that I was so grateful for, because usually I'm channeling people's parents, like the twin flame, right? Like, I would get messages from her mother and stuff like that, and or other people that I have loved in my life. But this time what happened was someone that loves me right got a message from my dad on her phone, on her feed, and it was my dad's way of saying, I like this one, keep her. This is a white girl that I'm not running off. This is a white girl. And I say that because my father has actually run off one of my sister's boyfriends who was white with a gun. Like, he was wild. My father was absolutely wild as a Taliban. So this is one that I approve of. He hated my ex. It's funny. A lot of us get caught up in the twin flame journey where the other parents don't like us because we're spiritualists, and they're like, and we get caught up in that, like, oh, they don't like me. I don't give a damn. I knew how empty and void those people's lives were by the evidence of the life they were living. I knew what the end of their lives looked like because of how they treated people when they were at the pinnacle of heights of success. It was very clear to me that they were not good humans and that they were toxic and covertly evil and all the rest of it, right? So I didn't give a damn about her adopted parents judging me. Her actual mama biologically loved me. How about that? She actually did. She was like, I sent you to my daughter, and I'm sorry she was such a shit. She was such a shit to you. Like, she literally apologized to me, and it did my heart good. Sometimes you don't get the apologies from the person like you wish you would. In the beginning, I thought, you owe me an apology. And then I got over it because my angels were like, her own mother that birthed her came through and apologized to you. What are you talking about? She's never going to give you she's never going to give you better than what her own mother gave you. The people that were her caretakers have no idea who you are. I could never understand how you kept their daughter on the straight and narrow, and how you held her hand and held back her hair when she was vomiting and stopped her from sleeping with everybody in the world, and whatever the case may be. They don't understand what a positive influence you are because she wanted to scapegoat you actually. So she did. Her mother could see from the other side exactly who you were to her, and how you rode for her, and how you prayed for her at night, and how you held her, and how you encouraged her when she was treating you horribly. Her mother thanked you, and that's the best it will ever be. So when my father came through and said, hey, we like this soulmate that's on your journey with you right now, and I've selected her for you, and she's not going anywhere, and she's solid, and she loves you, and she cares, and she's devoted to you in ways that no one has ever been, in ways that your husband is not, in ways that all those friends that you talk about have not been. I'm not just putting her on a pedestal and idolizing her. I have waited and vetted for years and years. This is not a new friendship that happened yesterday. This is years in the making. And it's been maybe 6 years. And just recently, in the last few days, did my father come through, maybe in the last couple weeks, and say, this one's for you. Never happened before in any of my relationships. You guys understand that? Spirituality is a very powerful thing. Our parents are not dead when they cross over. Their essence still lives with us. I actually received that message, and I will put it on my community page so you guys can see it. It was powerful, and it was so nice to know. As much as my father hated my ex, I thought she was a hoe. He loves my new person, and he said, that's something you should know. I approve, and I'm grateful. All right, guys, let me see what message you guys have here, and I'm going to go get on with my life. Oh, we do have a few messages. Let's see here. Okay, Rain says, yep, I'm learning that they try to be you in every way possible. Yes, the third party will try to be you in every way possible. It was weird because I was like, I'm a Black West Indian woman with a lot of culture. I'm soaked in culture. I had a lot of wonderful experiences. My mother, even though she was a single mother after she divorced my father, made sure that, I was in tap, ballet, jazz, that I had tennis lessons, piano lessons, that I had etiquette classes, that I was a Girl Scout, the things that my mother allowed, that I played instruments. I play 3 instruments. Like, my mother immersed me into culture. Okay. And this person that was podunk and from Alabama and was like complete white trash, I was just like, how do you think you're going to turn into a West Indian woman with culture, ma'am? When your culture is like way down yonder at the Chattahoochee, it gets hotter than a hoochie coochie, and that's a culture. And I love me some Alan Jackson, but I was really perplexed how she tried to be me, Rain. It was really funny. So people that have no business trying to replicate your energy will try to be you, and we are us effortlessly because we're not trying to posture and be anything else. You are your sexy, beautiful Rain self, right? You are regal, and you are of a culture, Egyptian ancestry, right, Rain? Hold on one second. Let's see here. So it's funny that they try to be you. I was fascinated by it. I was like, girl, how? Where? How do you think you're going to be me? But they did try. Sunflower Eye says, letting my twin flame go was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. Sunflower Eyes, it will be the hardest thing you ever had to do. It broke my soul open. But like I said, sorry guys, I'm searching for something here. Ooh, found it. It broke my soul open. Sorry. Pardon me, guys. It broke my soul open having to divest from my twin flame, but it broke me open in the best way. I don't want to be around them. I realized that I didn't love her. Maybe I loved the struggle. I was so in love with the struggle of like trying to prove to her our great love. And when my dad came through and was like, "Hey, I really like this new soulmate of yours," I was like, "Why was I working so hard?" You know, my mother always taught me this: what is for you will be for you. What is meant for you will be for you, and what is meant for you will not pass you by. Sometimes we work so hard to like keep something and just let it go. Letting her go was the best thing that I ever did in my life. It was a great lesson for her. She needed some tough love. Like I said, my only regret is not cussing her ass out properly. But she needed some tough love. And also, she needed to realize my value and my worth. But she wasn't going to do that until I realized it. So, Sunflower Eyes, even though it was hard for you, you did exactly what you needed to do. And it's evidenced by the goodness that now is upon you and coming to you. Okay, let's see what else someone has to say. Rain says, "Yep." Rain says, "Mo, I'm here cracking up." Good girl. I'm cracking up too. Symbolic Designs and Insights. Hey, hi, Monette. Happy Monday. Thanks for your freestyle poetry. Oh, I love you, Symbolic. Thank you. Definitely feels like breaking a spell. It's so wild. Looking back, it's like, what the fuck was I smoking? Girl, what were we smoking? We were smoking on that crack pack. We were smoking on that wacky pack of crack. That loud pack. What was I smoking? It felt like a spell. It was that song Frozen. Your heart is not open, so I must go. The spell's been broken. I love you so. You were my lesson that I had to learn. I was your fortress that you had to burn. It's time to say goodbye. Yeah. I'm so out of octave and key, but that's Madonna Frozen or something. I don't even know what the song is, but that's Madonna for me. Girl, I don't know what's going on with Madonna lately. I just look at her. I'm a Leo sun. Your sun sign is the least important sign in your whole zodiac. First of all, that's just a quick message in a new video I'll be making. So get to know yourself deeply than that. But God, I'm watching Madonna and I'm like, baby, age gracefully. I get it. Nip and tuck it, lift it, pull it, better, faster, stronger. I get it. But she looked nuts to me. And it's so sad because she's reinvented herself so much that she's almost reinvented herself out of like humanity. I don't even understand. She's turned into an alien. Anyway, she has fantastic messages. My favorite Madonna was the Ray of Light era when she was doing tons of yoga and she was studying Kabbalah. That's my favorite iteration of Madonna message. That was my favorite one. I loved her Ray of Light. Oh my gosh, guys, Falling in Love. There's a song on Ray of Light and it's it's not Shaki. um Kiss me, I'm dying. I'm not like this all the time. Touch me, I'm dying. It's like a song like that. You've got this thing. I need to make a connection. Do I know you from somewhere? Why do you leave me wanting more? That's what it feels like to meet your soulmate. So if you have a platonic one, it can be confusing because it's a lot of romantic feelings that you'll feel about them. And that's exactly how I felt as I was in this new soulmate journey. Because I was like, why do I feel so comfortable with you? And that song personifies it. Do I know you from somewhere? I don't know if that's the name of it, but that is like the refrain of the song. That's so powerful because you just are so powerfully attracted. When you get out of your twin flame thing, you really will be attracted to. I couldn't be attracted to my twin flame. I see her now as like a kid sister. Nobody in me. Like I don't want her around me, but that's how I see her. I'm like, ah, cheers to your growth. Avoid the bookings, beloved. She was really leaning towards criminality. My angels were like, get away from her as fast as you can, girl. Like the gingerbread man, run as fast as you can. This one is going to actually be a smooth criminal. She already was. But anyway, yeah, the spell breaks and it's such a powerful thing. And new spells happen, like that soulmate thing. Like, do I know you from somewhere? Why do you leave me wanting more? That's how I felt. I felt like enchanted. I felt enamored. I felt all of that stuff. And then my angels were like, okay, take it down, crackhead. This is just a platonic friend. Relax. And it was really good. But it was a really wonderful, like connection. And it was a whirlwind, kind of infatuation, like limerence, people fall. And that's another thing, guys. A lot of us have had people fall into limerence with us. Your twin flames had people fall into limerence with them. Limerence, look up that word. But we were actually love. They loved us. They had love with us. And so they mistake limerence, which is that easy, fun, frisky beginning feeling, with love. And we were the ones who actually provided them with love. They will know that upon our absence, but they will never know it while we stay. So they mistook limerence for love every day. So the roaches and the rats that my twin flame was consorting with, she thought that the limerence that they had fallen into her because my light was bright, and her light was bright too at a point because I was raising her vibration. Josh Groban said, "You raise me up so I can step on your head," like that kind of stuff. That was limerence happening. So she was like, "I'm in lust, I'm in love, I'm in limerence." She didn't ever say that. I just knew it. But I knew that what we had was love. And I knew that she would never understand or value it while I was there because it meant nothing to her. In any case, the spell got broken. So now when I look at her, I don't, y'all, I'm like scratching my head right now. Actually, I don't know why I was attracted to her. I don't remember. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Like, I couldn't ever be that again. I couldn't ever be attracted to her because you know what's attractive to me now? Consistency. You know what's attractive to me now? People that show up. You know what's attractive to me now? People that love me. What's attractive to me now is people that care. And I'm not talking about just like sexual attraction. I'm attracted to you guys because you guys are here. Does that make sense? You show up. There's a group of you that like I can say your names without ever seeing that you pop up. Like Gilly, like Just Theory, Symbala Designs, Rain, MT, Sunflower Eyes. I'm not looking at the screen. I'm just like rattling off people that come. Mr. Chalk Chalk. There are a lot of people. You guys are people that I'm attracted to energetically because you are consistent humans with kindness in your energy. Yeah, you see? That's how attraction works for us now. We are attracted to like. This is my soul tribe. You guys are part of my soul tribe. We were always destined to meet and connect. So when the spell is broken, I can never break my neck to go back because there's no level of attraction that I feel. She was my dark side. I was the light. And then she brought me into the dark so I could have a dark soul of or a dark night of the soul. And I could realize like, oh, this is how we are intertwined. This is the DNA helix, right? This is how we blend our energies. But it was not meant to stay together forever to be. The spell is broken, so I must go. And I could never be back in that love with her or her hoes. It's never gonna happen. All right, let's see here. Yep. Rain says, thanks again, Lovey. Rain says, yes, always putting everyone else's feelings before mine. Honey, it's a new day now. 4 years in, and it's about my feelings first. Isn't that a beautiful thing? I no longer tolerate taking care of everybody else. I don't care. There have been times where I've had to deal with things. Inside of my family, even with my in-laws. And I will say to my husband, I give him a warning because I'm fair. Fair is fair. And I'll say, I'm about to sound off over here because this has been an issue and it's something that I needed to handle. And I don't need you to handle it for me, and he wouldn't, and he doesn't. I stick up and speak for myself, but I think that it is fair when that happens that you realize that you are not the same person that you were in the past, right? And so that's one of the things that I do now. I'm like, hey, here's your quick heads up. I'm about to light this person up, just so you know, because I'm not going to be bulldozed, run over, or treated badly when all I give is good love, more love than people have ever seen. So fair is fair, but it's a new day, it's a new dawn, all that stuff, and I'm feeling good. It feels so good to stick up for yourself. I don't know why I ever was worried about caring about people's feelings to that degree that I would let them hurt me. You understand? Yes, we should be compassionate. Yes, we as humans care. As earth angels, we care naturally. But can you imagine the way that we gave away our power to care about people so deeply that did not care about us, that were doing terrible things to us and that didn't mind treating us badly? That's why I always say it's my biggest regret is I didn't get to cuss her out properly because I cared so much about her feelings and how fragile she was and how hurt she was. But when I realized the cruelty that she was heaping on me in the last couple of years, my angels and my ancestors let me see it clearly. They were like, this woman is horrible to you. She treats you like she does think that you are a gum on her shoe or a second class citizen, whether it's about your race or the body you're in. The way that I wish I could cuss her out. I guess I still have some more prayers to do. Because the way that I wish I could dress her down properly. I won't do it on here because it wouldn't be fair. Oh, but the ways that I could tell her about herself. for all the judgment she had on me. Fascinating. The spell is totally broken. Bup, 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 bup. Rain says, I have my own back. No overextending myself anymore. Amen, amen, and amen. Rain says, I'm so glad you are sharing. This is going to help us all. Oh, and Momo's Happy Place. I love you, Momo's Happy Place. Says, thank you and blessings. Thank you, guys. It is always good to share. And yes, this is like lancing of oil and getting the last of the pus and the wounds out. Like, you just have to do it. It's very apropos that it's happening in eclipse season. I thought I was going to pop on here and just talk about Leave Your Twin Flame, but so much other stuff came out that needed to. And the thing that I'll point back to you is this. Stand up for yourself. You deserve love. You deserve people that come in that value you, and you deserve people that come in that actually have something to offer you and that are going to be reciprocal with you. You do not deserve to be breadcrumbed. You do not deserve to be treated like crap. You do not deserve to have someone who doesn't have your back but will literally carry the rats and roaches on their back. It reminds me of a terrifying image I saw once when I was a child at my dad's house, actually, full circle. And there was a lot of concrete because my dad built houses, but there was a concrete slab that he had poured recently for the outside porch where he was going to put the jacuzzi, and there was a scorpion, and it looked like, so it like triggered me because I didn't know about trypophobia, but it had like a bunch of little like things on its back that looked like eyes, and it was its babies. I didn't realize that scorpions carry their babies on their back, and it was the first time I'd ever seen that in the last Thank You Jesus. But it freaked me out. It was an image I'll never forget because the scorpion was terrifying enough. You know, nobody wants to deal with the scorpion, but to see it carrying its babies on its back, I was like, oh, it was so creepy. And it was who knew that I would really deal with a scorpion and carrying the babies on their back. Anyway, that's how I felt about my person, my twin flame. The attraction is so, like, that's how I feel about them. When I think of them now, I think of them as a scorpion carrying babies on their back. Um, um, and like absolutely just being in this kind of weird connection where they didn't realize, like, ugh, these, oh God, I can't even like say words about it, but that's what I want you to know, is that when you divest from your twin flame, whatever imagery that keeps you fully repelled from them will always be in your mind. If that person were to talk to me, I just see them as like a bunch of insects that make me creeped out. Like, that's how I feel about them now. And like, I guess an insect has its own life, but I don't want it to be part of mine per se, right? So banish them away and find yourself and know your worth and stand up for yourself. And on this channel, we don't go back to twin flames and we don't hold space for them. All those readings that are like, they can't leave the karmic because she's got them with blackmail. That's what they got into. You lay down with dogs, you get fleas. I had no sympathy. Immediately, within 2 weeks, I was like, I don't feel sorry for you. You're a terrible person. You did this to yourself. I tried to help. Good luck. I don't know what happened. The spell really does break. And then you move on and let them continue to mess it up, because that's what they're going to do. And they're going to do it with or without you. With or without you, a little you too. They were doing it with you, and that was why they were having so much fun. Now it's Romeo must die. Now it's no more fun. Now it's not as juicy. Now it's Groundhog's Day. Now the drinks are coming every day, or the drugs, or the sex, and it's just lackluster. They are Nicolas Cage. That's the channel I'm getting right now, in Leaving Las Vegas. Does that make sense? They are Nicolas Cage in Leaving Las Vegas. They are a shell of themselves. They're doing the thing, and they're drinking the drinks, and they're sleeping with the slores and the whores, and they're disrespecting you. But now you're not feeling it, I don't feel any energetic tug. I don't feel pulled. I don't have to call her in the middle of the night. I don't have to worry about which car she got into. I don't have to worry if she's sex trafficking. I literally have not a care. I'm not woken up by it. You know what I wake up thinking in the middle of the night? I should make a live. I need to do some laundry. Like basic happy things. That is where we should be. That twin flame journey will have you feeling like one half of a person loving someone an intervention. They are hell-bent and determined to break their lives open. And then you're just there like, hey, don't do any more heroin. And they're like, I hate you. Heroin's the only one who loves me. Go let him be on heroin then, baby. Okay. I love you guys so much. So good sharing energy with you. Come back and join me next time. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to continue to evolve together.